And it says we are live. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Lunch with Len. It is Thursday, July 2nd, 2015, and really glad to have you all here. And we have a really special guest today. For those of you who have been regulars on Lunch with Len, about a month and a half or two ago, maybe, Christina?
Yeah, it's been about 2 months.
Well, about 2 months ago, we had Christina Ervin on, and she was teaching us about Google. And she made a commitment to come on back and do some more with us. And then life got in the way, and we haven't been able to get her scheduled. So we've got her scheduled back today. Christina's the Google Plus girl, and she's going to teach us all about Google. And what I've asked her to do, and for those of you who are out there, Carol, Chris, Rick, etc., anyone who's on, if you have any opinions about what you'd like her to cover, put it in the chat. If you want to come over and interact directly, feel free to do that. I will bring you across, but I'm going to let Christina get started first. What I asked her to do, and what I think we all agreed to some time ago, was to sort of start at the beginning for those of us who are really a little bit unfamiliar with how best to use Google Plus. Where do we start? What do we do? And how do we get it working for us? And so without taking up any more of our time, I'm going to turn this over to Christina and ask her to teach us about Google. Are you ready, girl? Go, girl, go.
I am. Thank you very much for having me on, Lynn. I appreciate it. You and your crowd always, support me on this. And I actually do remember vaguely that I kind of needed to go back to the basics. So listen, we don't have a lot of time today, guys. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to go a little fast, not too fast, but certainly pop in some questions that you have specifically. The first thing that I want to say is, hey, Chris and Larry, thank you very much for joining us. Understand that Google Plus it feels overwhelming because there's so much going on. What you need to understand is that Google owns Google Plus. Google owns YouTube. Google also has pretty much mirrored the Office products like Excel and Word, and so Google Docs are incorporated. Literally everything in the Google suite is accessible from Google Plus, so it feels overwhelming because there's so much going on, right? I mean, does that make sense to you, Lynn?
Makes sense.
So, hey, Rick, thanks for joining. So when you go into Google, don't get overwhelmed. It's just like all the other platforms as far as the basic navigation, so to speak, and the basic likes, and a like is a +1 in Google Plus, commenting and replying and stuff. All those kind of things are pretty basic, all right? So don't get overwhelmed by the fact that you can access so much stuff, because literally no matter what Google application you're in, you're literally going to be able to access all the other ones. So for example, I can literally chat, start a hangout, send a Google Plus post, and all of that from my Google Plus, from my Gmail, right? So Google, in trying to make it convenient for people, they really have kind of confused people and overwhelmed people, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to show my screen today. As far as how to claim your Google Plus ID, how to tie it to your YouTube channel and stuff like that, you can always, you can always Google that. You can always YouTube that. Like, there's so many stuff out there. I'm not going to take the time on that. Hey, Carol, good to see you. But what I do want to show you are some basic things that you need to get done. So if you've already got a Google Plus account and you've not done these things, or you're thinking about starting your Google Plus account, and you haven't gotten started yet, this is where I want you to start, okay? So hold on, let me share my screen. And then you let me know when you see it.
Okay. I see you. I think I see your screen.
Okay. So, you see me now?
Yep. See it.
All right. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Is that better to
That's better.
That? Yeah. All right, great. So now listen. What I do want you guys to know is I'm in the process of doing rebranding and getting a new website and all that. So my cover page and stuff, not the ideal thing. Trust me. But I do want to show you something. This right here, we're right now on my profile page. When you first start your Google Plus account, I want you to go to your About page. So go to your profile, click on About. And when you click on About, that's going to bring you down, and you'll be able to literally put some information in about you, give background about you. So in the people section, it'll show, people that you've added in your circles, and it'll also show you people right here who have you in their circles and so on and so forth. That's not a big deal. What I really want you to focus on is this section that says story, okay? Because unlike all the other social platforms, Google Plus allows you to absolutely maximize your About section. You can put in, I don't even know, to be honest with you, I've not been able to confirm for sure what the character limitation is for the About section, but I've seen some very long ones, so I don't think you have to worry about it, right? You can also leverage in-text formatting and stuff in your About section like nobody's business, with bolds and italics and stuff like that you can't do on other social platforms. Not to mention this area, there are several areas on your About page that actually are indexable by Google search. So you want to have some keywords and stuff in there as well. So one of those areas that I want you to pay attention to is your tagline. You notice I've got social media marketing strategy for business growth. I'm playing around with that because I'm trying to see what's more attractive, what's not attractive, how much juice I can get in search, that kind of thing. So you will be playing around with your tagline, but certainly you want to make sure whatever it is that you do. So like if you're a video marketer, like you want to draw attention to the fact you want to have video marketing in that tagline somewhere. Because again, that's one of those things that can get picked up by search, okay? In your introduction section, and you want to have things spaced out with white space and use your bold and stuff like that to really kind of set things apart. So as you can see in my introduction section, I give just a little bit about me and my personality and my passions. And then I actually have the opportunity in Google Plus, you can have text. You can have hyperlink text in your About section, right? Like you're limited on most other platforms like this. So you can see on this, I've got this sentence right here hyperlinked. When you click on it, it takes you to an opt-in page, right? So I am actually getting ready to change that because, again, I've been testing some things out. You want to make sure that when you are leveraging links in your About section, you should make sure and tag those links so that you know that people are coming from your Google Plus About page. Because if you can't measure it, then you can't tweak it, right? These are things that I've been learning as I go. So I've got some cleaning up to do.
Christina, can I interrupt you?
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, and you're telling me that I can edit this, I can put in hyperlink type. Where's the editor?
I'm getting ready to show you that. I just want to. Yeah, good question. So I've got this separated again. Some success tips for you that I've written. Like, I want it to be clear. I wrote these things just for you. These are all links to some of my blog posts. Some of my blog posts that I think are most relevant to the people that are probably going to be looking at my About page. Again, notice I've got this got keywords and stuff in here. This is actually can help give you a little bit of juice to the site. Not a huge amount, but it's a little bit, right? Helpful marketing training. This is some stuff that I've gotten from influencers and things like that. Don't be afraid to share stuff from other people. Unlike a lot of social platforms, Google Plus is truly a community, and it is a community that absolutely respects and kind of gives you the hat tip for really sort of edifying other people in a way that you would share their information and stuff like that. Like, that's a good thing, right? So I've got some links that also help people out from other influencers. Again, you can see I've separated out by bolding and stuff. You want to put in your About section. You also want to put, some suggested circles or something so that people know. Again, this is giving them more idea of things that I'm interested in, right? Notice I've got MLSP, which is one of my affiliates, hyperlinked in here. Attraction marketing, I've got that hyperlinked in here. Ways that you can work with me and connect with me. In order to edit that, Lynn, to answer your question, you just go down here and click edit. And that will open your WYSIWYG. Is that what it's called? What you see is what you get, right? And as you can see, you want to make sure that your tagline is public. Your introduction, everything on here, you want to make sure is public. And literally all I've done is just gone in here, wrote up everything that I wanted to write up. If I wanted to hyperlink this word right here, I would just highlight it, click link, type in the web address, hit OK, and there you have it. It'll be hyperlinked. All right.
Nice.
If I wanted to bold this word, I just click bold, and as you can see, it's bolded.
Okay.
Right. So that's how you use, all your everybody's familiar with the WYSIWYG stuff. I mean, it's kind of intuitive if you're not, right?
Sure.
So you go through, you do your edits, and you save it. Blow. Now, this next section is communities. This is one of those things, again, that I'm playing around with. It's one of those things to preference, but I want to throw out a few ideas for you. Now, you can absolutely go in here and you can edit this and you can show all of the communities that you're in, or you could just select one community that you're in, whatever, right? You can do it all. It's your choice. You can absolutely click all of them and show them all. I don't suggest to do that. What I'm trying to do is play around with certain communities. For example, I'm getting ready to create my own personal community that I'll be giving, tips about Google+, marketing on Google+, social media marketing, audience building, that kind of thing. It'll be a very controlled environment. It'll be a very engaging environment. I encourage everybody to, stay plugged in and request to get in that community, because I'm going to also be sharing how you can get some of my extra tips on how I'm absolutely mining some gold mine leads from Google+ in that community. Now, when I get that community created, that'll probably be the only community that I show here. Right now, I'm showing my sorority community because, again, that is another group of targeted audience. There's a lot of entrepreneurs in my sorority and my brother fraternity. I want to attract those people, so I got that there just so that they can see, hey, I am in Zeta Phi Beta sorority. Hopefully, I can start building up that circle. But certainly, again, that's something that you're going to be testing out. Okay.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can you come back on communities? When you pulled up the list there, can you open that list again? I mean, I saw.
These are all the communities that I happen to be in.
Oh, okay. So you are in all those communities.
Yes, and I'm
an entrepreneur, but you don't show them.
No.
Okay.
And the reason why is it's kind of like this. The phenomenon that we're dealing with let me come over. The phenomenon that we're dealing with like on Facebook, I'm sure you've noticed that you get added to a bunch of groups and you're like, wait a minute, when did I get in all these groups? Well, I found that I'm getting added to a lot of communities that I haven't asked to be added to. Heck, I've even been assigned a moderator position in some, and I'm like, I didn't even know there was such a group to moderate. So, I don't want to list all of mine, but I will tell you that is one of the ways that I mine for good communities. I find a good engaged person, a good influencer. I will go see what communities they're in, and I'll join that community. That's one way to find targeted areas. Collections is a new thing that Google has started. It's kind of like their version of Pinterest. And we won't get into collections today. Maybe I'll have to come back another time. But that's a way to group your content. And kind of like Pinterest has boards, you can group your content in certain subject matters. And so people can follow that collection. They don't have to follow everything that you post. They can just follow that collection. I've actually been doing some testing on how I can share out and syndicate collections, and I think there might be something to it. I'll share it if I get it proofed out and I feel like it's worthy of being shared. Okay. Your work area is another place that you want to make sure, throw in some keywords. Notice I've got social media marketer here because I want that to get picked up. All of these Google Plus pages are indexed individually, they're like their own website, so to speak. So you'll notice that I've got some keywords all up in there. I put, my education and stuff like that. But I want you to go through. It's worth totally filling out your about section is basically what I want to bring to your attention. You'll notice that I've got, links and stuff that contributed to my blogs and stuff. I need to get this updated because I've got contributions to other, blogs and stuff that I need to update. I don't suggest loading this up with every affiliate that you have. It just depends on what kind of marketing you like to do and how you want to go about it. You'll have to test it. Me, I'm probably getting ready to get rid of a lot of that personally. Because I want to be congruent to my brand, which is audience building, basically. I also want to show, this is called your part of your hover card right here. So you want to make sure, if you notice, my work information, my college and all that stuff is right here. You want to make sure that that is showing. It's got some good meaty stuff in there. Like you notice that it's showing my website and stuff. I need to change that over. I think that I'm gonna, probably put a bit.ly in there so that it's shorter and people can see the whole thing. Again, this is one of those trial and error things. I want you to also notice the picture. Okay, so I double clicked on the picture because your profile picture, please put your picture of yourself up there nice and clear. I don't have to tell this crowd, I know. But you actually get leads on this because notice I don't just have a picture in here. I also have my website, right? And I also have some more information that's really going to appeal to what it is that I do for people, how I can help people, right? Don't waste that opportunity is basically what I'm saying. Have that in there. For your cover picture, you can go on to, I suggest to do the same thing. Like I've taken all this out because like I said, I'm changing over my branding and stuff. But I suggest that you have this right here, like have something in the caption that talks about what you offer people and put your link there. Again, you're gonna get leads from it. I've seen it before. Okay, so let's go over to how to post. Are we good? We got any questions right now, Lynn?
I'm good.
Okay.
Carol had a question. I think Chris just answered it. But so are they the same as communities we join on Facebook?
Yes. But for me, what I have found, and I think I'm one of the few people literally in our little community of marketers who actually puts any time to Google Plus. I've personally found that the Google Plus communities are a bit more engaged than the Facebook groups tend to be a little bit more spammy. Now, what's really consistent is it really kind of boils down to the moderator. But I found that the Google communities, more of the moderators are actually active. So it helps keep down the spamming and stuff.
Okay.
You're gonna have it, but yes, it's the same thing. So let's go to posting, okay? Because literally people are like, what do I do when I'm posting, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so like I'm gonna send a post right here. Now, when you first start off, you're gonna want to, for the most part, most of your posts, you're gonna want to send to public. You're gonna also want to send to your circles. You're also gonna want to send to extended circles because you want to expand your reach, right? When you put in a post, you want to always start the post off with a header. You want to stand out in the news feed, right? So in order to make it bold, because in Google Plus, unlike other social platforms, you can literally use in-text formatting. In order to bold something, you put an asterisk before it. So like if I put in, this is a training test, just, and then you put an asterisk after it. Here's a key. There cannot be any space between, like if I were to put a space in between test and the asterisk, it wouldn't work, right? So now this is a training test, will be bolded when we post it. Then I could go ahead and put my link right here. And then like, again, because like on any other social platform, you want to put your link above the fold, right? Okay, and then you want some white space, and then you want to put your content. What if you wanted to italicize something? Like say I wanted to italicize the word here. Then I would just put an underscore before the word here, no space, and then an underscore after it. That's gonna italicize it. And then what if I wanted to test out a strike through? In order to do a strike through, you're going to put a dash in front of the word and a dash after the word, and that'll be a strike through. Now, if you notice, when I put my link in here, it automatically brought up my website, right? But I might want to have a do follow link in there, right? And that's a lot of technical stuff. Don't get caught up in it. More often than not, just know this. You're going to want to use this link bar and put your website in there. Okay? Just trust me on this, all right? Okay. And then you can go from there. But I did a typo here. But let me delete this out. What if I wanted to put one of my YouTube videos in here? I just go on and click that, YouTube, and your YouTube videos. It's going to go to my YouTube channel, and it's going to search for my YouTube videos. And I just scroll through and pick the one that I wanted, right? So if I want this one, I click on it and add, and it adds it right there in the post, right? You can put your events, polls, pictures, all this stuff right there. In order to select who you want to send it to, you would just click in the to box and you would type in plus, and I don't know, Chris shouts, are we friends? I don't think we're friends. I don't think we're circled up, Chris. But type in a plus in the person that you're looking for. If you're circled up, they'll pop up. If you're not, then you'll have to search for them. You can search for, like, these are collections that I'm following. Here are circles. So everybody that I'm circled up with will come up in my to box, right? It's going to automatically default to the public and your circles and extended circles if that's where you've been sending to. Please pay attention to this, guys. Do not, under any circumstances, well, not under any circumstances, but 99.99999% of the time, do not click this box that says also send email to your circles. Don't do it. That's horrible etiquette. You're going to get cussed out. People are going to uncircle you like nobody's going to listen to you. Do not use that, because what that does is it sends an email to people's Gmail, and literally that's the same as if you were to go in your Aweber and just start swiping emails and sending it to people without them asking, without them opting in. It's the same effect. We'll talk at another time on how you can create opt-in circles that want you to send them a notification, and under that circumstance, you would use that. Click share, go over to it, and then you can see this is bolded, this is italicized, this is strike through. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense. Is there some place where people can go that, I mean, how did you find out, for example, that how to bold the text? Is there a instruction manual on how to do this stuff somewhere in Google?
Yeah. Well, I found influencers and stuff, and that's where I find it. But literally, I've been putting together a list of those sort of things. So I've got a list of influencers, and I've got a list of help docs and stuff like that I'm going to be offering to my people. I didn't get that set up because I actually started partnering with someone else who's going to also add some additional stuff in. And like I said, with all the branding switch over and stuff, I've not gotten that set up. So what I encourage you to do is, this is what is called an opt-in circle. I'm going to go on and I'm going to show you how. Let me delete this real quick. I'm going to show you how to create an opt-in circle. So for all of you that want to opt in for that information, as long as you're in this opt-in circle, then we can talk about it, right? So go over here to click people, and your circles. Click on this plus here, right? And right, and I'm going to say G plus opt-in tips or whatever, right? And create an empty circle right there. Go on and create that circle. Now, what I suggest you do, that just created me a circle, okay? If you want that sheet and everything, certainly go ahead and make sure that I'm circled. Send me a message. You can send me a private message. Let me show you how to send a private message, right? Lynn, are we friends on here?
I don't know. I sort of doubt it.
I'm not feeling the love from anybody.
Well, you know what? I don't know about anyone else who's on here, but I think that there's a fair amount of confusion as to what all this stuff means. For example, I would still like, I mean, I don't know how much time you have today. I know I don't have a limitation, although we did say it was a half hour, but I don't really have a limitation. But I don't really understand. And does everybody on here understand what are your circles and extended circles and opt-in circles, and what does all this stuff really mean? So you said you just created an opt-in circle. Do I have to create an opt-in circle, or do I go put my name into your opt-in circle? What does that mean to me?
An opt-in circle is just, I just created a circle, right? And the circle is the same as your friends on Facebook, okay? Right? And by an opt-in circle, in order to get into that opt-in circle, you can like send out a post and say, hey, comment on this string right here and tell me if you want to be added into this circle to get my goodies. And everybody that literally drops in a comment you would have to manually go in and add them to that circle, which is really simple to do right from the string. Or I'm trying to teach you another way is say, add me to your circles and say, hey, Christina, which would be hey, and then you would plus mention me by typing the plus sign and typing my name, right? And then click it, that comes up, right? Make sure that you uncheck, X out of public, your circles and extended circles. So what you've done is plus mentioned me, and all that means is put a plus sign in front of my name and put me in the to box, and now this is a private message between us, right? It doesn't go to anybody else.
Okay.
Now you can either do that, or I could just post a comment in public, like to public, my circles and extended circles, and I can say, hey, if you want my G plus tips, like goodies, and you want to be in my circle and get my email notifications or whatever, put a comment to this string and I'll add you to that circle. And then what would happen is everybody that comments, I would just manually add them to my circle by merely just hovering over their name and hovering over their name. That pops up their hover card, and I can add them to my circle from there. So it's really simple. But I actually see that we have a more basic crowd than I thought we did. So the questions that you asked me, I think, are valid, that I need to go back and kind of explain. What is a circle? We've already discussed the circles, the equivalent of like your friends on Facebook. Extended circles are people who are in the circle of somebody who's in your immediate circle, but they're not in your circle. So for example, if I'm friends with, if Chris Schaus and if Chris has me in her circles, right? And she also has you, Lynn, in her circles. Chris and I are in circles together, but you're not in my personal circle, then you are part of her extended circle. Meaning you are exposed to my content just because you are part of Chris circles. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then of course public is just that, just public.
Okay. So circles if I can relate this to Facebook terms, circles are friends, and extended circles are friends of friends.
Exactly.
Okay. So I can now see. Now maybe I'm asking questions that are more elementary. Maybe everybody else on the Hangout knows all this stuff already, and if that's true, then and I'm boring everybody, then just go ahead and tell me. Cool it, Len. We already all know this stuff. But I just never gone and played with Google Plus that much, and I've looked at this stuff and I've wondered what it is. So if I want to go there, I can make it. I guess I can make a circle of friends, and a circle that's family, and a circle that's enemies, and I can add you to my friends and my daughter to my family, and I don't know who I'd add to my enemies. I don't have very many of those, but then that's what you call circling up.
That's what exactly. And here's another great thing about Google Plus, unlike other social platforms that I love. Like people like, why are you all about Google Plus? Well, here's another thing. I can circle you, but you don't have to circle me back, and I can already go ahead and communicate with you. You don't have to circle me back.
So okay, I have to think about that, what the implication of that is, but okay.
There's not, the implication of it is I don't have to wait. Do you know how you can send somebody a friend and it'll be like 2 months and they still haven't responded to your friendship? I don't have to do that. I can find somebody that I think is a great targeted potential prospect, or just somebody I think is cool, I want to get to know. I could go ahead and circle them up and go on and send them a private message, right? So I can circle you up right now, and then I can send you a private message by typing a plus, then your name, Lynn Mooney. Hey, Larry, what's up? And then say, hey, I just saw you in such and such community. Thought that we would be cool. I thought I'd circle you up because I'm interested in your content, right? That message is going to go directly to you. Like you're going to get a notification pop because I plus mentioned your name. But we're already in circles as far as my relationship to you is concerned.
Okay. So where do I get this notification pop at? Do I have to be logged into Google, or does it come in my Gmail, or I have to look at Gmail every day, or?
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to show. You want to have your settings set, I personally think, to show up in your Gmail. So you will get a Gmail, but you'll also get a notification in your bell in Mr. Jingles. Let me show it to you. They've changed Mr. Jingles. I'm going to show it to you. They've actually changed it where it's not a bell anymore. Now it's just a circle. But can you see my screen?
Yes.
So up here in the right-hand corner, this is where your notifications are.
Okay.
And all these are just notifications that I've gotten, today. Like and literally this is controlled by how you have your circles set up.
Okay. Okay. So I guess the best way to learn all this stuff is to just go ahead and start doing it.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of it. But see, here's the thing that most people do that is completely so the wrong way to go about building your Google Plus. People just go out and start circling the heck out of people. Now, Google Plus has gone away with sharing circles, like so you can't get those super bubble circles, which is good. I think that was not a good thing anyway. But don't go out there and just be following people just to follow people, because just like your email, you want your G Plus connections to be targeted people who are engaged with you. So people wonder, like people love when I share their content because they know they're going to get immediate engagement because my followers are pretty engaged. Like I have a core group of people who interact with me. And as soon as I post, I can get something. I can get a +1, a comment, and a share like in 5-10 minutes, right? Because I've got a very targeted group of followers. So you don't want to just go following a whole bunch of people just to follow them. And you should be mindful of the fact that you can only follow 5,000 people on your private profile. Now, I'm sure some of you have heard me say that I don't see the need in having a Google Plus business page, which is the equivalent of a Facebook fan page. If you are a home biz owner, because you are your biz, you're sort of a personality brand. I'm going to amend that, and I'm going to take that back because I've thought about it a little bit more, and I absolutely do think that it's a good idea to have business pages for the SEO value in and of itself. If you leverage that page and you leverage your personal profile to build that page, I think it's a good idea. And again, that's a more advanced training, but I'm no longer in the camp of, no, you don't need a business page. I think it's a good idea to have one. I'm actually working on that too. And when I get my branding all set up, I'll have a business plus page, and maybe I could do some training on that sometime too. But I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
But to start off, don't be just opting in and getting a whole bunch of followers, okay? I also think that you absolutely need to make sure that you have your settings. I'm going to go on and show your settings real quick. I know we're 6 minutes over. If everybody can give me 5 more minutes, I think this is very valuable to show.
Chris, I think the schedule is set by you, not by anybody else. Anyone who runs out of time can drop off.
Okay.
And this is being recorded, so we'll take as much of you as we can get.
Okay, so I'm back here on my page. You see it?
Yep.
So you're going to go to this drop down, and you're going to go all the way down here to settings. There's a couple of settings. You said, what do we need to do when we first get started? Aside from filling out your About Me section, these 2 settings you absolutely need to go in and adjust. And the first one would be under profile. You see this line that says show your Google Plus community post on the post tab of your Google Plus profile? Mm-hmm. Make sure that that is unchecked. I'm sure you've seen on Google Plus where people go in and they post the same dadgum thing to like 20 different groups, and you see it all on your profile page.
Okay.
Okay, like that just looks like just ridiculous spam and graffiti. Just uncheck that, and it won't show every time you post it in other groups. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to go and check is see this line here where it says allow people to send you message from your profile. Make sure that that's checked, and make sure that it's set to public. The reason why is because we're marketers, right? We want people to have access to us. We need to stop being closed off. People can't communicate with you that way. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like, right? The reason that you want to have this is, let me go to my profile page, and I'm going to change this to view myself as a public. So now, as you can see, you see this little teardrop looking thing here? Mm-hmm. That is, if I wanted to send, that's what you click if you want to send somebody a private message, kind of like you do on Facebook when you PM somebody, right? That opens up your Google Plus Hangouts, private messages right there, okay? And that's how you would send the text to it. Guess what? Most people are not even familiar. Most people, if they have that enabled, they don't even know they have it enabled, so they never check their messages, and they're missing up opportunity. I've been invited to some great Hangouts and stuff and gotten some great exposure because I had that enabled, and people can send me, people can go on and like start a Hangout with me right there. But you want people to be able to send you a message. You got to be able, you want this open. See how it says send a message? So now if I wanted to send like just a text message and not do a video Hangout, all I have to do is click that. Most people don't have that enabled on their Google Plus, which means now I got to send a message, and most people don't know how to plus mention somebody's name, so the person doesn't get a notification, it gets lost, and you never get a response. So that's one of the first things that you need to do.
Okay. Cool.
And from there, literally, it's relationship building. You have, there's some mining for your leads and stuff. There's a lot of different tricks that I've found with Google Plus, and I'm sure there's so many more that I haven't found. But it's very engaged. I mean, let me show you my desktop one more time too. So you can see, like, for example, here's another thing that's different than other social platforms. Google Plus is, Google wants you, they want you to use it kind of like a mini blog site. So they actually welcome long posts on Google Plus. There are very few times that you're going to go to my page and not see a longer post. So if you noticed, I've always got a header, right? I've always got my link above the fold, just like you've been taught. Notice I've got things bolded in here because these are keywords, right? And I don't even know, I haven't even checked, I haven't checked the Google search or not, but these posts get indexed quicker than your blog posts will be. So literally, I actually will come in here and I'll put my entire blog post in here sometimes. And I've shown up on the first page. Why? Because A, I get engaged, these get indexed quicker. B, I get engagement. Look, I've already got 8 plus ones and 10 comments and 2 shares. Right? Now let me show you a little tip that you're gonna want to do. If you want to see the activity of a post, if you just come down here, you can click on that. And did you see it flip, Lynn?
Yes.
That's your hover card. It flips over and it tells you what engagement you've gotten on that post, who shared what, who's commented, who's plus one. It even shows if these people are in circles or not, if in your circle or not. You can circle them up from right there. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
And then you click here to return back to the post and it flips it back over.
Cool.
If you want to get the link, because this is its own web page, if you want to get the link to this post, which sometimes I'm in Facebook, sometimes what I'll do is I'll come over here, I'll grab the link to this, copy it, and I'll go into Facebook, which I don't have pulled up yet, and I'll embed the link to this Google Plus post, and I'll write something in Facebook, and the link brings them back over here to Google Plus, because guess what? They don't have to have a G Plus account. It's its own web page. So if I put that link in here, then you will see this post come up as its own web page. So that's another way that I bridge my engagement from platform to platform too.
Cool. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. So I mean, as you can see, I get pretty good engagement, on my posts because I do long posts. I do plus mention people. This right here was something that I shared from an event, but because I shared it and plus mentioned people in it, I got engagements. That person who is an engager in Google Plus, who's an influencer, there was like 3 or 4 shares off of that. So there's new people that I'm introducing her to. That helps build my cred a bit. You feel me? And those are just some basic ways of doing it. Like, look, here's another one of my posts. I've got 19 lines in this post with one of my YouTube videos. I've got 11 plus ones and a share on this, plus 7 comments.
Neat. That looks really great. Love it.
Yeah, so right. Leveraging it like that literally is going to help you build your. Guys, listen, you don't want to ignore Google Plus. You just don't want to, because it's owned by Google, and you can actually your posts index.
Okay.
And then also consider, most people don't sign out of their Google account. So when they're searching signed in. If we're connected, then everybody that you and everybody that's in your circles and your extended circles, and by default their extended circles, now has access to me. And just getting some quick engagement on those posts actually helps get it ranked. And I've got several terms you can go into Google, search, and you'll see me pop up. I can get one of my blog posts to rank on the front page as I'm signed in. I'll be admittedly so. But it'll be on the front page and getting exposure. I've picked up leads from people I didn't even know that way. Right? But now that same blog post, my blog is not even close to having enough authority to get ranked for that. So that's why you don't want to ignore it.
All blog posts should go up on Google Plus.
Well, I mean, that's, that's a strategy. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing out a strategy, right?
Oh, well, I've been actually doing that. I mean, I actually shared my blog post to Google Plus, so hopefully that's helping. But I haven't been doing it quite so methodically. So I'm just going to have to take a look and make sure all my about section and everything is filled up, and everybody else out there too. So how are we doing with time, folks? Do folks have any questions they want to ask Christina before we let her go?
Show the bubble, etc. again. Where is it? What bubble? The circle, Chris? You'll let me know. I saw in the notifications that you had some of the fan pages there too. How do you do that? In the notifications, fan pages. Carol, I'm not really sure what you mean by fan pages in the notifications. Let me go back over here and see what she's saying. It right here, Carol, in this section. Then is she saying? Is that what she's saying?
Yeah, I don't know the answer. I could try to bring her across, but I'm afraid I might lose her.
Yeah.
Carol's had some computer issues, so I don't know that she's really got the bandwidth to come across right now.
All right. To answer your question, Chris Schaus, you go to your drop-down box and you click on people. That'll let you get to where your circles are. And you can click on your circles. And this is where you create a circle at. Or I could also create a circle. See, this is a good thing about Google. There's like 20 ways that you can do everything, basically. So say, like this person right here is not part of my circles, right? I can just hover over her picture and see where it says add. I can add her to one of my circles, or I can just click create a new circle and do that. And it'll clock for a second. And now she's assigned to my test circle.
Now, does she get a notification that you just assigned her to a circle?
If she's got that option turned on, she does.
Okay.
If not, then she won't see it.
Okay. So did you just tick her off by assigning her to a circle that has no meaning?
No, because they don't know what, it just says circles. They don't know what circle it is.
Okay, so Chris answered us back. She says, no, I mean the little bubble and conversation thing. I think Chris is referring to your profile just a few moments ago. When you had your profile up, I think that's what you're referring to, Chris. Right under your picture.
This right here?
Yeah.
I just double clicked on my picture.
Right, but I'm not quite sure how you got there because you were talking about profile settings and things to set, and then you had two things show up under your picture there, right under the followers. There was a little circle. There was two things that showed up there. I have to go back and look at the video. I know I'm not making sense, but I think that's what Chris is referring to.
Everything that you want to edit for your hover card is going to be on your about page.
Okay.
And in each section of the about page, there's an little edit link at the bottom left, and you can go in and edit that section. So if I wanted it here, I would just click edit down here at the bottom of this section.
How are you fixed for time, Christina?
I can probably do about 5-10 more minutes, and then I have to go.
Let me just click Chris out and see if I can get her across. If she can explain. Okay, Chris is on her way, so maybe she can explain. Maybe she can explain a little bit about what she means. Chris just joined us.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, sweetheart. I was talking about when you were in turning things on and off on the pages, and then you went on your placard card and showed that little bubble and where you said you could get notifications, and some people, if you don't check it, you
Okay.
don't.
Yeah. That's part of your settings. So you can see my screen now.
Not right now. Now I can see your screen.
Okay, so you go to your drop down and you go all the way down here to settings. And they keep changing it, so that's as of today. This is July 2nd, 2015 at 3:20. This is what it looks like because they keep changing stuff. But let's see, profile. So I've got my photos in YouTube. Let's see. Allow people to send you a message from your profile is right here. So it's in the profile section of your settings, and you'll just click this box next to this, and you'll make sure that this is set on public. Does that answer your question, Chris?
It does.
Okay.
Then that's going to show the little bubble out on your profile.
Right. And the way that you can test it, Chris, is when you go to your profile, it's automatically going to default to viewing it as yourself. Just click this little drop down and click public.
Aha.
Ah, there it is.
There it is.
Yep. That
And
I knew that.
by the way, Christina, we were already circled. You just didn't go down far enough.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
Okay. Glad we got that one solved. Anybody else have anything?
She said the street sign that says fan page. That's somebody's profile avatar in my notifications. It might be from a community or from a person. You can set your shoot, man. Okay, I can do this in 3 minutes. I'm going to show you one last thing, guys. You're going to want to set up your profile so that you can, gosh, this is a larger training. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. You want to set your profile up literally so that you can go through and curate quickly. So you'll see on this homepage, on my homepage, I've got it set up. This is the new stream, so everybody that's in my circles, I'm getting their feed, right? How cute is that picture? Okay, so, but I've got my circle set up. My circle's set up that home one are people who are influencers, engagers, or have great content, right? So when I click on home, I've got a small circle of people. It's all these people here plus others who are in this circle, right? So every time they post something, it comes in this circle. Now I have my home one circle set up to get notifications. You can turn that on, see, in circles. You can turn this notification on, or you can click it and turn it off. If you have it turned on, it'll show. And now anytime some of these people post, that's going to show up in this little bell over here. Right? So how you manage that, unlike other social platforms, you can literally manage how many or how few of these notifications you get in that by clicking the little cog and it says show post in home screen. You can unclick this and now the post don't show in the home screen. But I have it clicked for my home one group. Then it says amount. You can go over here, hover over it, and you can either have it to send more, so more of their posts will show up in your newsfeed, standard or fewer. Now listen, I can't say that this is like standard means 50 to 30 and blah blah. Like I don't know that. But you can kind of control the flow this way. So I have my home one people. I definitely want them. I want to get notifications. I want to quickly be able to see their stuff because literally in 10 minutes I can go through and curate 10 posts. Because I already know, I've already vetted these people. This is good content to share with my people, right? Home 2, These are people who also have good content, right? These are people that are influencers or engagers and stuff like that. I don't have this turned on, but I am getting a standard amount of their notifications in my flow. So I know my first 3 circles are like going to be mad. Like, okay, I know at any point when I need to curate some content, I'll go to one of those 3 circles and I just scroll through and I can curate, right? Now, a lot of times people get on Google Plus, and have you ever got on here and you clicked off of something by mistake? Like, say, you know, Chris sent me this message and I clicked off of it by mistake and I was like, I wanted to reply to that and I can't find it. Does that ever happen to anybody? That ever happen to you, Lynn?
Yep.
Well, what you do is you go to your home, right, and you click over here where it says mentions. And these are all posts that mentions you. And there's Chris' posts.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I've certainly done that.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Cool.
So, you know, Google Plus is just one of those things that there's so many things you can do with it that my strategy is probably not going to be your strategy, it's not going to be their strategy. It depends on the kind of marketer you are and really what you've discovered. I'm always changing. I'm always changing my strategy on this because I'm like, whoa, I can get targeted people here. Like, yeah. So it's a trial and error thing. I would really love to do, you know, some more in-depth training. So if you want me to put you in that circle of notifications, so when I get everything set up and you get that sent out.
We'd love to all be in your circle of notifications. Tell us once again, how do we get into your circle?
Just circle, add me to your circle, and then send me a message that says +, Christina Ervin. Add me into your Google Plus tips circle.
Okay. Everybody got that? Cool. Well, we've kept you an hour. This has been really awesome. Really awesome. A lot more than I expected. I know for me, I'm going to have to go back and look at a couple things again. I haven't done much using Google Plus. I'm going to start using it a lot more. So, does anyone else have any questions out there before we go ahead and shut it down? I see a couple people have dropped off, so it's probably time to shut it off. And it's all out there in the recording. So anyone, I'll make sure that the link to the recording is up in the Lunch with Len group. So.
Cool.
Really appreciate Christina. I know we'd love to have you back anytime you're able to come back and do some more training.
All right, I appreciate you having me out.
You're doing a great job. Really enjoyed it. Okay, so.
Thank you.
It's good seeing you guys.
Yeah, unless there's any other questions, and I don't see any, we're going to shut it down. Going once, going twice, and I'm hitting the stop broadcast.